I like that they are going that direction. They had really solid drafting yesterday, so I want to see them continue on that trend and see how the rest of this draft shapes out. And here's the Tom Kinch in the center. You can tell me all about this lane and why it can be so abusive.
So Tom Kenshin Senna is one of the worst BDE energy lanes of all time. You literally pretty much cannot kill them at any portion in the game. Corki gets locked in, which is good for AP damage and mixed damage, and Alistar, which is but anyway, it's a perma scaling. It's literally like the thought process behind it is instead of having okay, well they're rocking Wakanda. Instead of having like a 1 carry with Tom Kench getting fed and stuff like that, it's like a 0.5, so it's like a 1.5 kind of carry. If that makes sense. And it just perma scales.
It really diversifies your damage output. You get to have a full tank and an AD carry. It, provided it's not punished in the early game, it's really heavy scaling. So I'm really happy to see it. I feel like it's one of the combos that go really undervalued in FOS so far. So them bringing it out is showing that Pentakill Teemo is really looking to adapt, make some changes, so they can get some wins on the board.
I absolutely think that this is them saying, "Yo, I'm tired of being 0-5. Like, we're gonna play some of the cheesiest things in the entire game, and we're gonna get some W's here." So right now, if I'm betting, I'm probably putting on PTP, just because they are playing one of the safest bot lanes in the game.
Yeah, and they're already indexing into like a play around top kind of play style. They have the Twisted Fate, they have the Global Center R, and excuse me, and that'll give them the opportunity to really pressure this top side if they can pick a solid lane, and they have last pick, so I expect them to aim their counter pick in that direction.
So when you're on the side of Team Spear as well, you see this Tom Kench Senna, which means you absolutely know where their bot lane is going to be. So, like you said, with this Twisted Fate locking, it's pretty much like all that matters is this top lane pick. Because you don't really gank a Tom Kench Senna. Senna in herself is really not good at setting up ganks. Neither is Tom Kench, that kind of stuff. So I'm really interested in this top lane matchup. They picked in Sejuani, which means that top laner should be a melee carry, like a Wukong or something like that.
That's definitely going to need to do something that's going to output this damage because they have a really low damage composition overall. Senna does do decent amount of damage, but she's not heavy on scaling damage. It takes her a while to ramp up. She doesn't give super high output, so other AD carries can out damage her. So I do think I do like what Pentakill has put together, but Team Spear has managed to put together a pretty decent draft on their own with really easy to execute composition and a lot of CC and the package timing to really guarantee their dragon team fight, which it appears is probably what they're going to be looking at.
Shout out to the Teemo Hover for PTP, Team Spear. They picked Ornn. Okay, that I don't like that pick. I don't like that pick at all, man. I really do not like that pick. Sejuani really needs a top laner that has melee damage because melee stacks her E, and that kind of stuff. And they really need damage in the top because they have a global Twisted Fate. Where's Twisted Fate gonna roam? Is he gonna R to the top lane, I guess? And they're facing
At this point, it's basically into the center lane. You're gonna try to get that center ahead. Honestly, I don't really like what they put together. It seems like they missed their theme a little bit, and it's gonna be kind of difficult for them to maintain that pressure into the mid and late game when they don't have a lot of damage. Like usually when TF gold cards, you want to instantly dump a huge amount of damage and burst someone out, but they're not. That's not really the option they're looking for. So I guess at this point they're just trying to out sustain in team fights.
All right, well, prediction wise, I'm definitely going Team Spear. I just put 5,000 on them. Don't let me down, boys. What about you, sir?
I feel like I'm obligated to say that FOF doesn't condone gambling from casters.
We also do not support alcoholism as well. Shout out to Danger Nation.
Jesus Christ. Oh my. So getting back into the game, we're getting ready to load in. I'm excited. We're back with FOS. We have another game. Game 3 today. Team Spear versus Pentakill Teemo, please. We're gonna have a fantastic match here, and let's see. It looks like there's already gonna be an early invade.
So okay, this is a ward from Rakan. All right, that's fine. Nice emote, love it. Teams continue emoting, continue disrespecting. I love it. Pretty boring invade, I guess, for the most part.
Well, they did get some decent wards down. You have the wards. Sejuani got her ward on the red buff, and there is a ward that's going to see the entrance of the bot lane walking into the tri-brush. So I think that's some decent early aggression. They're going to have more information than what Team Spear is going to be working with.
Perfect look from director Chris, by the way. He looks at this orange top, which, by the way, teams, if you are going to be doing this 5-fan, which is what that was, if you were the top lane, you want to be slightly outside the bush because you get more point of view and that kind of stuff. Like, he's sitting in this bush. If they invade him, you can see that point of fog up there towards the lane more. You can go around and you can get closer to him and you can potentially kill him.
Yes,
He
it's
doesn't really
really
see
important.
much with that.
Yeah, it's something to remember, and it's just for top laners. I feel like top laners can be really lax on the invade. That's why that specific invade route is usually so successful. But they know that the Volibear is going to be starting on his top side leashless, so this is going to give some really standard lanes, and I'm really interested to see which team is going to be able to outperform in this early laning phase.
And to reiterate that point more, like you just said, a lot of teams that I've been seeing so far, I think I've seen 4 teams in both Mythic and Heroic do that invade where they 5-man into that bush. I think there was a kill earlier. There was a kill last game with that same thing where he was sitting in the bush and not outside of it.
Yeah, I remember that was our favorite play. Alice was notorious. We did that basically every other game. So I want that invade to become more of a common sight, more of something more often that we see, and something that can be used to punish and really set these top laners behind. But it looks like the GP has basically already established some really heavy lane dominance.
You know, looking at this bot lane, I think back to the fact that I've been nerfed and muzzled, and I'm not allowed to curse on stream. Looking at this, it really makes me upset. Just look at Senna, man. Like, seriously. How much stacks does this woman have yet? Can we see
Most
that?
likely 4 or 5. I want to say 4 or 5.
Alright, she has 4, which is like pretty good. You're gonna get a lot of stacks when you're doing this kind of Senna, which is the point of it.
Oh, those actually just looks like it's a gank. This is going to be a lot of damage onto the Sejuani. She's just going to go down, and that's a GP with red buff. Ornn, you can't take this. You can't do this. You're going to go down, and that's going to be a double kill. Orpheus going to pick up both of them. Oh, that's a disaster for the side of PTP.
I'm not even going to talk about how this is Ant, because I think Orpheus is a really good player. I think he's probably the best player on this team. So I'm just going to shout him out and not talk about how Ant the gank was in general. But
no, go ahead. Break this down. We're going to have a replay going. Tell me exactly what happened.
Again, you don't pick Sejuani if you don't really have melee damage top, and they do that. They miss every single CC, and then just get immediately just destroyed because Sejuani, for some reason, started red side and did not start blue, which is what she usually starts, if I'm not mistaken. And you're not going to gank this Gangplank, really, when he's that far ahead in HP, and he has a red buff. Oh, he has red buff now. Excuse me. So.
Yeah, he picked up red buff from the kill. But at least on the positive, she's not going to be punished super hard. There wasn't an invade on the Volibear side, so she was probably going to get double scuttled anyway. But here is the Volibear. He's going to be walking in now. Let's see if he's going to check the blue buff. This is a really good example of team communication. The Gangplank should be calling that the blue isn't on the Sejuani and that it's still available. But he's actually going to go for a gank instead. Oh, Pure Llama, you're overextended. You're going to have to use a really strategic flash to get out of here. He's going to take a lot of damage, hit the CC. He's still going to be walking out. And that's going to be a flash into the chopper. He's just gone. Second W on the Volibear. Huge damage, and goodbye TF in the early game.
So I understand why he tried to do that. He thought that if he would flash, then Volibear would have flashed immediately. I think that he thought that he was dead regardless because he's so far up. So I don't really mind that he didn't flash there. Seeing flash on his phase is very important, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is a really hard to play early game. None of the lanes have managed to accrue any significant advantages, and it looks like there's CS advantages opening up on all sides. You have a huge disadvantage in the top side. He's just going to constantly get poked out, and GP has so much sustain.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is also, the Gangplank is just really good into Ornn as well. That's why I think the Ornn last pick is really bad. Not to mention that Ornn, if you're going to first pick like a top lane, you're usually going to blind the top lane. Like Sion's good top lane, blind, that kind of stuff, and you're last picking a tank.
Yeah, and the lane's now pushing into the GP. The Ornn really just needs to be calling for help. Sejuani's going to have to do something here to prevent a freeze. But and that's if he's not dead here. The Trial by Fire is going to go off the extra damage and the parlay, and Ornn is just down again. Orphic is really putting on a show, showing his top lane dominance. Get another solo kill.
Like I said, I think that Orphic's the best player on this 1-4 team. or is it 1-4? 1-4 team, and I think that if they're going to get out of this hole, which is right now it's looking like a win so far, I would say that they're going to go through and play through top lane. Orphic's a very good split push player, if I'm not mistaken. He plays a lot of champions like Set and this Gangplank and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, and I'm
yeah,
really impressed. If you notice the wave state, the wave position that he's managed to create, so he left the wave pushing into him. He's going to have complete lane control. The Ornn's going to be walking up. He has teleport available. Ornn's not going to be able to push this all the way into the tower before the GP returns to match. So he actually could have TP'd back, held a freeze, and set the Ornn up for a gank, but he's chosen to just catch the wave and get a decent cheater recall in. That is really solid top lane play, and there's a lot that other top laners can learn about really maintaining these advantages. And then look at the spot here; he's just gonna have a perma freeze.
I've talked about this a lot. A lot of the top laners in FO is it FFS. I'm gonna call it FOF. It's easier to say.
FOF, friends or
Yeah,
foe?
FOF. You say FFS, bro.
I forget FOF, FOF.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right,
FOF.
whatever. Anyway, a lot of the top laners, in my opinion, in the entire series, literally kind of lack wave management. Even in the heroic leagues, like this was very good by him, very smart. He did it back, and LS would be proud. Your man's. So
Yeah, he lost nothing. He's out of the lane during a possible gank timer. They're gonna also pick up this dragon. This is just a really solid, consistent accruement of advantages for for Team Spear, and I'm really happy to see that they're taking what they've learned yesterday on getting their first win and just trying to translate into a second one.
yeah, and in the bot lane, I'm really impressed this Tom Kench has actually managed to stay up in CS with Jin. Usually, this lane you will not see the Tom Kench go even. You're expected to lose out in CS and that kind of stuff, and they're going even. So if they're going even, that means they're ahead in this lane.
Yeah, that is really solid. I'm actually happy to see more support players pick up this thing because it seems really often that support players are kind of nervous about CSing and having their CS be the one that matters. So Carrots is showing that he's confident in his ability to hit the minions and be able to poke and trade. So I'm really happy to see this kind of development in what we expect from support players.
Absolutely, it's actually really impressive for a support. They're just showing that support is not just a low skill gap role. They're saying that we can CS2. We're built different as well. There's a really bad W from Senna, but it's not a big deal since Senna is Senna and she won't die ever.
Yeah, and don't worry, Orphic. I saw that beautiful triple barrel on the top side. He is just dominating this lane, hitting constant barrel chains, getting that parlay, that trial by fire up, and now they're gonna try to gank him again.
I don't think you kill him
I
there.
can't see how this is going to be successful, but here we go. The Ornn gank, the Ornn
bad
R is going to
W.
land. That's going to be a flash forward. There's no CC left. He still has the oranges available. Sejuani is level 5. She's going to go down to the Volibear and he's just getting kited around. Ornn's not going to get the kill. It's going to be a double kill for Volibear, and this Gangplank is just carrying everything.
So Orphic just basically, again, 2v1s. His orange is a little bad. I don't think that he should have oranged the knock-up. I think he should have saved it for the Sejuani up stun, but it doesn't matter because he's so far ahead. I'm just going to chomp that down, that vitamin C. He's just like, dude, I'm built different in this top lane. I told you, shout out to my boy Orphic. I think he's very good. And if you're red team here at PTP, I don't think that you can do anything about this top lane. I think that you should just cut your losses and try to affect the rest of the map. If your lane is this far behind, you should be trying to affect the rest of the map.
Yeah, and it's just really difficult to see where they're going to look to find its advantages. You have a really safe bot lane. Twisted Fate is level 8. He hasn't even used the Destiny Gate yet. Can you really even go top lane when you know that GP is going to have the oranges for the gold card? Corki is super safe. He's really difficult to gank. Where are you going to go as this TF to try to open up some advantages for your team?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think it's a flat draft if at the moment. I think they're also playing a lot better. I don't like the Ornn pick at all. The Sejuani pick wasn't very good. But the first 3 picks were fine. I think Twisted Fate's a very good top laner, and this bot lane is, well, I think I've talked about how much I hate this bot lane, so.
Hey, you know what? Despite their struggles, I still believe in PTB. They have good players. If they manage to just use their advantages from this bot side, the bot side is holding even. They could look to make a play here. They still have the opportunity to utilize that advantage and do something, and that could be their comeback angle as they're all kind of converging onto this bot side.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a way to come back. You know, if you get this Senna just ahead, and like I said, Senna's like basically unkillable with Tom Kench, and she has, 3 frontliners to save her. So it's not completely over. Senna's permascaling. She's the worst champion in all of League of Legends, so it's never over if you have Senna, unfortunately.
She does have Infinity Scaling. You have 4 members grouping around this side. Let's see if they're going to look to just go for a straight up dive. If they manage to get this play to work, then this is going to be their avenue back in the game. Sejuani Ultimate's available. There isn't going to be anything. Jin's going to be get ruined under the tower. Here comes the Jin ult. He's going to use this to zone off. The Volibear is going to be seen. He's going to get hit by the Sejuani stun. He's going to take a lot of damage. He does still have his R available, so he's going to be walking out. They need to be careful. Rakan is going to have his R and W for this re-engage. Here comes Volibear. He's going to get this R, and that's going to be the Rakan R. That's going to be a double charm. Volibear's flashed over the wall. He's overextended. He's just going to die. Senna's going to get a huge shutdown. Here comes Jin. Jin's now stunned. The cleanse going to have to come out. That's going to be some autos. TF is going to pick that up. The E is going to keep the TF safe. That's Corki is here, but he is here late. That's not going to be anything else on the side, and that's a really well executed play on the side of PTB to get some advantages on their end.
I think very lackluster communication in the comms for Team Spear there. I don't understand. I think that Volibear wanted to go, if I'm not mistaken. There was times where I guess they called him back. I don't know exactly what happened, but I think if they went there, they could have got some kills. Or maybe at least jump over the wall. I don't think that they have to die there. Definitely lackluster communication in the voice chat.
Yeah, there's definitely some other angles, but it is good on PTB for being able to punish. Here's the Corki. He has the package available. Dragon isn't going to be up, so he has desynced this package. Oh, actually, correct. And Dragon is up available, but he's now taken a huge amount of damage walking into that gold card. But here comes the Volibear. A ward has not seen him. That's going to be the package coming out because of that gold card. And whew, that's a big team fight advantage for this Dragon gone just off of pure laning for the TF.
Yeah, and what really differentiates a good Corki to a bad Corki is saving that package for these dragon fights. He saved it, but I don't know. He's inting for some reason. I'm not really sure. I see he's trying to get the lane push into the dragon so he can run first, which is fine.
Yeah, he definitely succumbed to a little bit of that pressure that Twisted Fate was going to put down. Really good on Pure Llama, noticing that he can get some solid trades down to force out that package. And now this dragon fight is a lot more even than it otherwise would be. GP doesn't really want to TP here, and it looks like the Team Spear is just going to say that let's give this up. We don't need to fight. This is not our angle, and give the GP some more time to scale, some more time to farm.
I don't think that's bad. I like the communication from Team Spear now. I think a huge problem with teams in both leagues is that you fight objectives when they're gone. Like, that objective is gone. They said, all right, we're going to give this. And on the bright side, their bot lane lost a lot for that. Bot lane was pushing. I think they lost, like, maybe, I don't know, a wave or two for that. So it's not horrible. You don't have to int for a second dragon. It's a mountain, so.
Yeah, and this is just a really solid spot. Look at the items on the AD carry. This is the power of Senna. She is still even with items with an AD carry who's been farming, even though she has 6 CS to her name. That's purely because of the passive. And then you have a support diff that's just massive with Tahm Kench having a lot more value than what the Rakan can offer. So this really should just be the spot where PTB looks to make their plays to bring this goal a little closer.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the theory behind it is, you pretty much iterated, is that your support is also a tank. So it's like a 1.5 carry in the bot lane with this thing, and you perma-scale. You're basically just going to be PO for Senna as well. This top lane turret should get down. Hopefully you can get it in the next couple seconds to get that turret plate, or is he just going to kill him?
No, the Orange should be able to walk out. He is going to take a lot of damage. GP is still chasing. That is going to force the flash out and the GPR. Let's see if Volibear is still chasing. He does have that R available. He is going to neglect to let the Ornn go. Wow, Orphic is 2 levels up. Massive CS advantage. He's probably going to look to even get a Flame Horizon here. Like, this man needs to be credited for some excellent play this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm really interested in is seeing what they're going to do with this gangplank. Are they going to send it down to bot lane, have bot lane swap up top, or have Cookie swap up top? What are they going to do?
Well, now that they've opened up the map, the only objective that's going to be spawning is this Rift Herald. Now, it's not really super high value because the second Rift Herald is objectively terrible. But if you can get it for no resources, then that is going to be pretty solid in the sense of opening up this mid lane tower, forcing this TF to have to TP from a lot farther back into the lane.
Yeah, so it's going to be a bot lane gank?
We need to have a Senna soul counter at the bottom of the screen. But here comes an engage.
Like,
Rakan's gonna get that flash W. The Chomp is gonna be late. Senna is gonna have to flash out. That's a lot of damage that she's gonna take. Tim Kench is tanky. He is gonna be tanking up all that damage. Senna's healing. Rakan's just gonna go down to the tower. Tom Kench, he's gonna make it out. The gray skin's gonna keep him alive. And ooh, they just did not have the damage, even with 4 people. Senna's still full HP.
now, do you
Here
see
comes
why
the
I'm
TF
all
ult.
about this bot lane?
Yeah, it looks like they're not done fighting. The TF ult is going to come in, but it's going to be really, really shallow. He's not going to have an opportunity to land that gold card onto anyone. But really well played on the side of PTP's bot lane, surviving, buying time, and allowing them to accrue some advantages elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, Senna and Tom Kent just somehow just avoid the textbook gank from the gangplank. You know, top just got destroyed. Like I said, that you're going to see where the gangplank will be going. He should win bot lane, exactly what he did. And they got a gank, but Senna and Tom Kench is just broken, so...
Well, that is going to be some interesting usage. Here comes a flash. The T-Teleport is going to be available, or an R is going to come through. The flash is already burned on the side of the Corki. He's probably just dead here, and that's going to be a big shutdown. 500 gold on the side of Orin. He needed that to come back into the game, make sure he remains useful.
Yeah, I don't even know if that you should have given it to Orin. I mean, it's fine. I don't know if they were the ability to give it away, but...
Well,
I
it's
think
objectively better than Sejuani.
You think so?
Yes.
I think if you're that far behind, I don't think that's going to really save you. What, getting an extra 300 gold when you're... I have no idea how much gold he's down. I think, like, what, 3K
Well,
maybe?
Sejuani doesn't really do much with the extra resources. Plus, she's gonna have the ability to farm her jungle. This lane's not getting any better for the Ornn, but if he manages to accrue at least one mythic item, that can put him in a spot of just relative usefulness, especially when you consider Ornn's passive and how dependent he is on levels.
This
So
track is
Felix
going to
be
be up
good.
in 40 seconds, by the way. So all lanes should be pushing. I think the top lane's pushing for them. Corki will be there. Does he have package at this point? I think he should.
It will be available shortly before Vet Dragon, given the last time he used it. So he's probably still waiting on it. It should be up in a couple seconds.
Orphic is just smurfing this game. That's really my boy. I told you guys at the beginning. I want some praise. Okay, I don't get any praise. I get a lot of hate. Where is my praise for this shot? Shout out my boy Orphic. I told you he was gonna be good, man.
Yeah, he's doing a phenomenal job so far. And look at the items. So that is a double item GP. He has a Triforce. He has a Sterix. He's going for a tankier build because he's expecting to be fighting in these team fights. And just the mythics are completed. Other than Jhin, there is really some avenues, but the bot lane for PTB is really strong. That's going to be the overextension. That's going to be a charm from the Rakan. Oh, he's still making it. TF is still alive. The damage is coming back. GP is going to pick up the TF with a good barrel. He's now walking forward. That's going to be the Kench laying on the ground. That's another kill going over. The shots are coming through. Now Sejuani's dead. Oh, and that is the Senna caught on the side. Another kill for Orphic. And just multiple kills going over, and that is going to be a 4-for-1 on the side of Team Spear. Really well executed team fight.
Yeah, Pure Llama just got caught out with this was a fate, and then that made Tom Kench have to use his E, so he could not save Senna as well. Good package from Corki. Like I said, what really differentiates a good Corki from a bad is saving his package for the right times. He saved it for the dragon fight. Really good by him.
Yeah, and it looks like, unfortunately, they didn't get much usefulness out of their ultimates. So at least if you're going to be setting up for a team fight, the general usage is just to get that TF ultimate out so you can see the way the enemy team is setting up, because you're not going to be using it in the foreseeable future and you're preparing for a team fight. The Ornn ultimate's still available. You also didn't get much value out of the Senna R. It has a really long cooldown, so you need to really make them count. But here, look, now the Ornn's caught out. Let's see if he's going to be able to make it out. It looks like probably not. He's going to get landed on by the Rakan. That's going to be the Grand Entrance coming through. He does get the knockup, but he's just dead. Oh my god, he's just obliterated by the Corki. Oh, so much damage. That was a crit W Frost Bomb into the R, and then he's just obliterated.
Yeah, I don't know. Raider's getting flashbacks to high school right now or something. There's just a lot of bullying going on. I don't know if he got bullied. Let me take that back before I get canceled. Holy crap. Yeah, he's just having it rough in this top lane, by the way, man.
Yeah, that was really, really tough. And he has only died a couple times, so 4 deaths it could be worse. It could be worse. So he He will have some takeaways from this game, but if he manages to still find a way to be useful, that is the sign of a good player. If they can find a way to be useful, even when they're not having the best game. And Rakan, he's really low. He's gonna get W stunned, and he's just gonna die to the wild cards. Woo, you just gotta keep notion of what the CC is available.
Exactly, and I want to be more positive than I appear to be. When it comes to Ornn, he will still be useful no matter how much he ints, because Ornn is really about that team fight. He does a lot of CC with his ulti and that kind of stuff. So even if he ints 10 more times, he's still going to be useful in a team fight. And their team is scaling. Ornn scales really, really well. Senna perma scales, that kind of stuff. So like, it's fine if he's that bad. I mean, obviously it's not ideal, but there are ways to come back into this game.
Yeah, it is going to be rough. When it comes to the scaling, GP has pretty solid scaling. He's going to hit max items probably earlier than anyone in the game. I expect in 10 minutes he is going to have all his items completed. The Volibear probably outscales the Sejuani in this particular case because the Sejuani is not going to have that many avenues to hit priority targets. You have this Corki that's just straight up outscales the TF. Those magic damage crits cannot be neglected, and the forces, there's pretty much no MR on the other team. And Jhin, in this case, when Jhin has the ability to have a big front line where he's not the main damage source and he can just provide some long range crits and some long range damage in CC, this is where Jhin wants to be. So they are Team Spear is in a really good spot, and I like the changes they've made. You really have to give them credit for they started off slow, were 0-4, and this week they just bounce back really strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Jhin pick, however, he is facing 3 tanks, which is bad for Jhin. Jhin is one of the worst AD carries when it comes to multiple front lines. But like you said, they played really good this week in general. I'm really happy with them. I think Orphic's a really good player. I think that Oriri, if I'm saying his name correctly, their jungler is also a very good player as well. So yeah, I'm proud with them.
Yeah, they definitely have the tools. Here comes another engage. Orphic's just going to walk into the Sejuani. He's going to get rooted, but it's not going to matter for much as that is just a little bit of damage coming on both sides. There is going to be a dragon spawning in a minute. It looks like they're already looking for setup. This is something Team Spear has improved on a lot. They get their setup. They set up early for objectives. It's actually the main contributed factor for how they were able to win yesterday. So this is an important notion. I want more heroic teams to take this into stride. Objectives don't start 30 seconds before. Wards need to be down, pressure needs to be gotten, waves need to be pushed even a minute and a half before Dragon even spawns.
Absolutely. This is even just a heroic thing. Mythic people don't do it good enough. I'm being honest. If I'm just playing in solo queue, I look at it and they're just setting up a dragon in 15 seconds, which is really why NA is doomed for the most part, to be honest. But
yeah, and it does have some massive issues. The main one being is that actually something that Team Spear did really well yesterday. They executed a composition that really requires managing zones and using zone control well. And that is something that even in a professional team seem to fail at. So whoever is coaching, whoever is running these guys, they're really giving them some useful information. If they stay on this path, hey, they could be a contender, taking down even the BBZ team in the trees or Team Newbies of the world. So this is a team to watch out for. Let's see if they manage to close out this game in a clean fashion. But I really like the progression I'm seeing.
that's also one of the best parts about this tournament in general, is that a lot of teams can start out really slow and then they can gain synergy and they get better coaching and they get better picks and that kind of stuff, and then they can just come in and just stomp. It doesn't really matter where you finish in the regular season as long as you do good in playoffs. I don't care if I go 0-11, but if I make playoffs and I win it all, who's going to be talking trash then?
Yep, and you are prepared. That's going to be the package. Another Corgi has had his package timings done well. You need to make sure it's up for another dragon. It is going to expire because the dragon hasn't gotten. But who knows? They could even look at this Baron. They already have 3 dragons. They're going to be on a soul point. This is a really solid point. Look, they're moving in together. This is what you want to see. Getting those wards cleared out. Rakan is going to clear out those wards. Now the enemy team has to be even scared to walk into their own jungle. And woof, that is some heavy range from Senna, getting some extra damage onto the Volibear. But look at this vision control. If we could just really quickly see the vision control that Team PTP has, it looks yep. They can see basically nothing. They're gonna have the Baron, that's gonna be completely out of vision. And this is really solid vision control. This is what we want to see.
Yep. This is really great. I think there's gonna be a fight in top lane, and can we get a Senna soul check real quick for the perma scaling? See how much she has.
She's at 89 so far.
Look at that champion, man. I hate it so much. And a little slight misplay by her when she should be taking those 3 souls right there every single time that Raptor camp is killed. You should be a Senna, be trying to get those stacks because it usually drops 3 to 2 every single time.
So so everyone knows, Senna gets 25 range based on every 20 souls she gets. So she's at a even number of 20. That means she's gotten another range increase. She can really easily get to that 750, 850 range, especially if she's in the support role and she's just accruing these souls and picking them up from the jungle camps. She also gets 8 gold and crit. And basically every multiplier 80 character could want is in those souls, so it's really important for her to continue to pick those up. And if she can manage to get to that 125 point, she'll be at a state where she could easily 1v9 the game.
If that long explanation wasn't a reason enough, please stop picking Senna whenever...
Here you go, Rakan's just going to get stunned. He's just walking through the mid lane and he is gone.
Senna is horrible. I hate this champion. Please remove her Riot. Please.
As Fangs continues his escapades of complaining, that's going to be a lot of damage. Look at that big crit onto the Sejuani. They are going to be able to stabilize, but that is another pick on the side of Team Pentakill Teemos. They are still looking, and it just is. Rakan needs to be a lot more cautious about where he's walking. He's very squishy, even though he has some engage options. If that gold card is just a dangerous engage, and that's going to be Orphic. He's just going to steal the Scuttle Crab from the Sejuani. The barrels just straight up outsmited the Sejuani.
He's just smurfing. Orphic is just playing so good this game. I really hope that he gets an interview and see what he's doing.
And here we go. That's going to be the Senna. She's caught out. She's going to have to flash away. There's both flashes coming out from this, the bot lane of PTB. They're running. That Carrots has a lot of HP left over. He's going to get the Great Shield. That's going to be a crit Q from the GP, and Tom Kench is going to be laid down. But who looks here? They're not done. Ornn R is going to go wide, and that is probably going to be the end of it. A great pick on the side of Team Spear, getting that extra pick, and now they can look to set up for some of these objectives. Probably looking for that Baron next.
Very good by Team Spear to split away from the Ornn ulti. He didn't really have a good shot to shoot it. They both splitted, so yeah, good by them. Clean out, they got the kill. Left. Good.
Here we go. It looks like there's going to be some extra damage. This is just going to be the Jhin R opening up. It looks like it's just to clear the wave mostly. A little bit of impatience. An interesting Jhin R, but he did get the wave cleared down and some damage onto the Sejuani and the Twisted Fate.
And Twisted Fate has kind of had some subpar ultis. I can only remember him ulting maybe 2 or 3 times this game. If you're going to be picking Twisted Fate, those ultis are very important, as you know. I don't know how good this Twisted Fate is and how practice he is on him, but
yeah, this is just a situation where I don't know if I would say it's pure Llama's fault. There isn't really a place for him to go. You can't really Twisted Fate the GP, especially when he's so far ahead. He could probably just 2v1 an Ornn and a Twisted Fate at this point. There's not a lot of damage coming out from those two. Bot lane probably was the only avenue, but the game had pretty much already accelerated out of the point of general control before we got here. So at this point, we're just kind of waiting to see if this game is going to continue to stall out. You've noticed that Team Spear hasn't really been constantly accruing advantages. They've been pretty slow. They're waiting for this soul. So let's see if they can get the soul and then really accrue a succession of advantages that leads to a quick end in the next couple minutes.
yeah, I think the main problem was the fact that in draft, Twisted Fate doesn't really have a good lane to go to. Bot lane, like I said, isn't...
Up here we go. This is going to be some damage. This could be a pick. The Rakan R is going to go through that. It's going to be a double taunt. The knock up here. This is going to be a disastrous fight. Sejuani is going to just go down, or it is going to be taken down. You do have the 2 tanks in the back line. They're trying to fight this out, but they're caught out. They're never going to make it, and that's a double kill for the side of GP. A straight wipe for the side of Team Spear. The flash over the wall has come through. And interesting troll situation, but that dragon's probably going to pick up into the Baron. But let's quickly watch this replay. Fangs, what do you see?
It's NA production value, by the way. The replays are super huge for the FOF and back then. I want you guys to look at the Rakan ulti. The Rakan ulti and this quirky package is the main reason why they won this fight. Here comes Rakan right here. If I had a little circle, I can circle it for you, but he gets 1, 2, 3 with the knock-up. Here comes Corki flying in right here. And then from this point on, the fight's over. And then there's going to be a nice cleanup from Gangplank with his ulti. to make sure that that champion cannot get out. Good by them. Collapse on the last two people. Good job. Look at this disrespect flash. Look at this disrespect flash. Stop.
Bam, there we go. You gotta respect it. He doesn't need it for the game, so he's just trying to get it out of here. That is probably going to be both objectives collected up as we move back into the live feed. And really well played team fight. Generally, you hear the Corki package does give a global sound when it's taken. You really want to avoid fighting into it. Corki gets bonus move speed. He gets bonus range. The Valkyrie will even do more damage than a Rumble Equalizer. So as you saw, Senna just got obliterated straight up by the package. So a lot of stuff to be concerned about. Now that this Baron is taken, Team PTP is going to have to find another angle because team fighting just doesn't seem to be it right now.
Yes, but on the bright side for PTP, I really like the fact that they're still trying to make plays. I hate when teams just roll over and die and you do nothing and you just FF basically the game by doing absolutely nothing. They try to make plays, they're trying to do that stuff. You got to accrue advantages, especially with Twisted Fate. Maybe you can catch people out in the silence and that kind of stuff. It's very, very difficult, but you have to do it. You can't just roll over and die.
And I am never short on compliments today. Team Spear has just given me so many things that I can commend him on. Let's look quickly at Hayam Lishi. He has a CS advantage, but not just that. He's maintained a 10 CS per minute marker. This is what you want to see from mid laners. Even teams in Mythic have been failing to reach this level, and this is kind of expected for teams who are looking to get into that extremely high echelon of play, professional play. And Corki is just doing a massive job picking up all the CS, all the minions, all the damage. Look, he's almost got that IE completed, and that's exactly what we want to see.
For all 65 viewers, I'm sure that most of them are from the Heroic League, and they're looking at this game right now. If I'm you guys, I'm definitely banning this guy's Corki. I think it's really, really good. His package is insane in this game. He's had him up at really good times, but every single time Dragon's up, he has that package. Like I said, that's really what makes a good Corki from a bad Corki. Has perfect CS, like you said. Great, I like this guy's Corki. I think Orphic.
Here we go. Here's going to be a Twisted Fate. The Jhin is caught out. He doesn't have anything. The cleanse is going to come out late. He's going to be able to just get a huge amount of damage, but he's just gone. He's just sitting in the bot lane by himself, and that is going to be a pick for the side of PTB. They're still looking for an angle, but the base is going to be opened up. Here comes the inhibitor. That is going to be an inhibitor taken for the side of Team Spear. And now the Ornn's caught out. He's taking a huge amount of damage to the Gangplank, and Raider is just going to go down. He's going to get that extra dash into the wall, but he is going to be taken out. And now it's a 4v4. Let's see if they choose to dive and just try to get this game up and out of here.
I like the idea by Twisted Fate and PTP with that TP at the bot lane. Finn was some for reason by himself, inting. I don't know, maybe he was counting his checks after this game, but
my God, look at that Corki rocket just melting through the Tahm Kench. He doesn't have any real magic resist, and he's in a difficult spot. Now the shields are going to come through. That's going to be Sejuani flashing out of the Rakan W. That's going to be another inhib taken up. The Baron, there's still some time left onto the Baron, but now they're going to be chasing. This is going to be their angle, but you have two people walking back to base. This is nothing else that can be done. Even with the extra range, look at those long-range autos, and look at that rocket. Just almost one-shotting that the setup from 100% HP straight to 0.
Yeah, she's autoing from 1,000 range though, but okay, that's fine.
In the defense, it's her auto range at this point is probably around the same size as the rocket range from the Corki. So,
can we get a BS check real quick on the Senna Souls? How much we got right now? 125.
She's at 125, so she's probably sitting at a rough estimation. I want to say around 750 range, around there. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see. She's at 900, so that is because of the rapid fire. So she is probably around generally 750 without that, and that is basically across the map auto attacking. But she doesn't really have the items or the damage to be able to put anything massive together. But this is a pretty solid example of what Senna can do if she's in an even stated game.
And if I'm not mistaken, when you're playing Senna, you should be going Rage Blade as well. It's Kraken Slayer, right?
Yes, but this is the new version of the build. It's not worth to go crack Rage Blade outright. Getting that rapid fire cannon is much more important. So what you'll see most Sennas go is they will go their knife. They will get the passive from the Rage Blade, and then just go straight into the rapid fire, and then build Rage Blade next after that.
So yeah, it's fine. I hate that champion really much, like a lot. But how much
Oh, here we go. This is Rakan. She's getting caught out again. That's going to be the GP alt burn, and that's going to be the Ornn alt also burn. That's a lot of resources on the time of side of Team PTB. They don't really have much left to fight here, so defending this tower is going to be really difficult. Orcfist on the side, a huge barrel is almost just melting through the TF. Now here comes the Shirley's Reverie. That's going to be the speed. Look at all the damage. That's Sejuani going out. Now if Tahm Kench is in trouble, he's going to be CC'd up. That's going to be Orphic taking down the Senna on the side. Here comes the Tahm Kench. He's trying to do a little bit. Jin's going to flash out. Tahm Kench has still managed to live, but he's most likely just going to be taken out from a couple crits from this Corki, and that's going to be the game. It looks like they're going to be able to collect this up. Corki does manage to pick up the Tahm Kench. You have two people living at the moment. That's the Twisted Fate and the Ornn. They can't take it. They can't do anything, and Team Spear has collected up their second win of FOF.
They play clean. This is one of their best games. I think that this should be good for them to review, get that confidence back. And on the side of PTP, I don't think that you guys played horrible. Like, there was a lot of things I think you guys had to clean up your draft a little bit, but not the worst thing. It's not the worst way to go out.
I definitely saw the angle. I saw what they were going for. I saw the idea, and it's really important for your team, especially when you're struggling to maintain. You still have a basic idea of what's going on, and I think PTB did demonstrate that. They did show some heart. They didn't just roll over and die, and that that is the first step to eventually succeeding. So both these teams have come a long way, and it just seems that at this point, Team Spirit has come a little bit further, a little bit faster, and I really, really want to see how they continue to improve as we continue to move on.
Like I said, this is a long tournament, and that's one of the best parts about FOF is the ability to improve. Even if you don't do good in this tournament, in solo queue and that kind of stuff, and maybe for next season, you will be a much better team. So, yeah.
Yeah.
As we see the invite from Pericles, are you going to direct to Chris? Look at the damage charts. Corki with the ginormous damage. Orphic, who absolutely smirked this game, also going 22k. Senna being the worst champion in all league, doing whatever she wants, I guess, with 18,000.
Yeah, is to be expected with her having the ability to get out some trade auto attacks. And that is some really, really solid damage for the Corki. He had a really big game. He maintained his mid lane control. He didn't suffer any massive casualties into the Twisted Fate, which can be difficult since he didn't have the cleanse to play around. So he played very well. He did everything he was supposed to do, and that's what you expect from a mid laner, and he's showing up today.
Yeah, it's actually really difficult to see who would be the MVP in this game. I think Orphic probably gets it for me, but Corki also played very, very well this game. Rigi also played pretty good, and the bot lane didn't really make much mistakes, besides that Jhin at the very end. Pretty good by them. I really think that this is a very clean win from Team Spear.
Yeah, there's a lot to take away from both these teams, and I'm really excited to see how they come into the next weeks. So for PTB, they need to clean up their draft. They need to look and try to find some more aggressive angles and make sure that they're not stalling out and actually executing whatever their plan was in this early game with their composition to get this TF out onto the map so he can get some pressure down. And on the side of Team Spear, they need to continue playing well in lane. They need to continue accruing advantages, and the main thing they need to continue to do is just make sure that they are always setting up for objectives, always pressuring for vision, and not allowing teams to stall them out for so long. This game could have been over probably around 28, 25, 29 if they were playing super optimally. So that is probably the next angle for improvement, to get these games up and out of here when you've already gotten such a large advantage.
Absolutely. Do you have anything else to say, or we can hand it off to the interview here, my dude?
Oh no, I want to hear from the players, please. Let's get. I'm not sure who the interview is going to be today, but man, I'm excited to see what they're going to say about a great game.
Cosmic, cosmic, cosmic. Cosmic, 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 cosmic.
Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth here with Orphic from Victorious Team Spear. How you feeling after that win?
I'm feeling ecstatic. This was a big win for us. Moving forward, we're hoping to keep crushing it, and I had a good showing too, so it makes me feel even better that I didn't just get carried by my team. I was actually able to contribute a lot.
Speaking of contributing, I mean, it was a little bit of a top gap, let's say, in this matchup. But talk to me a little bit about picking the GP and about your role in the team. I feel like you've been very strong in the top lane throughout the series, even in your losses.
Yeah. So a lot of times, let me just start off with the second part. I know it's out of order. A lot of times, my team and my coaches do like to draft a little bit for me later on. That way they give me the best possible outcome because I can have a solid impact on our team. And, if I get the best possible outcome for me, then I can move out of top lane because it is an island. And I can actually put my effects on the map because, I mean, this game, I got that double kill early. It was a big blunder on their part because Tej walked into lane with about 40% HP, and I was running, and I was like, oh crap, she's dead. And then I got a double kill, and then that just converted to me taking all 3 tier 1s actually. That was all me, and just making sure that my team got ahead based off of my lead as well.
I think you did an excellent job of transitioning your lead. I mean, it helps when you have, the global presence that a GP brings to the map. Not to mention a GP that is flame horizoning so early. You did a really good job. Let me ask you a little bit about just the coaching role. You are a 2-4 team at this point, but I feel like your record does not reflect the coordination and the effort and effect that you have displayed in your matches. Talk to me a little bit about the effect of coaching on your team.
Oh man. So yeah, Shielded Valor, Riven Finesse God from last season. He's our coach, and so is another guy. His name's Ghouls. They do a lot of in-depth research for us and making sure that we have the best up-to-date information on our enemies. And moving into the games, we try to draft as best as possible. These guys are putting in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and specifically Shielded, he's taken a lot of time to invest in me as a top laner because right when I joined this team, I was big on like split pushing and just I ignored my team a lot, solo queue mentality. But he's really helped me to grow and actually be more team oriented as a top laner for sure.
Just a quick editorial note. We have to maintain this brand, man. They're not your enemies; they're your foes. So let's just
Right,
make sure
okay.
we get that right on broadcast. You didn't get the script. It's all good. It's all good. So anyway, let me talk to you about. So on that note, let me talk to you about your team going forward. You advanced to 2-4. What do you see looking out at the rest of the league about where you can stand against these teams and with the rest of the season going ahead? How do you feel you'll match up?
I can't guarantee anything for sure. I know that in my opinion, we were the closest to beating UB so far, and I mean they're 6-0. We had to lead that whole game, and it came down to our team fighting, and that's something we've really worked on over the past few weeks. So I mean, if UB's still undefeated by the time we see him next, I think we'll take him down for sure. But past them, I'm hoping that we just keep carrying on and we keep getting these W's and making sure that we just keep mowing over teams as best as possible.
Gotta say, Orphic, hell of a marker to lay down, but I gotta say, if you do keep up with the standard of play that you showed today, especially your whole team, hey, that might not be the craziest thing that we've ever seen. There's certainly a good chance for the second half of the season for anything to happen, and I think that other teams should be taking notice of what happened in this game and the kind of danger that you might pose to other teams that on the scoreboard might feel ahead of you, but there's a lot of tread left on this tire for this season, so there's a lot of time for you to get back in there. Orphic, I want to thank you so much for joining us for an interview. Any final words before we step away?
Yeah, I do have one thing to say. Obviously, this game, PTP had a fill top laner. It was last second. I just want to say, let's do Vanal. He was supposed to play, but he had some sort of emergency, had to go to the hospital. Personally, I just hope he gets better and we get to see him play soon, or she. I'm not too sure, honestly. But hopefully that player gets back soon, and I really hope they're doing well, even with their emergency.
Right on. Well wishes indeed. Folks, we will be right back with the final game. Don't touch the browser. We will be right back.